In my 7 years in that industry, I experienced not one, not two, three major burnouts. But here is the exciting news. Today, I'm sitting down with my incredible manager, Polina, who has managed to build a successful career without severe burnout and toxic achievement culture. I'm Juliana. I'm documenting my product management career in tech. If you're passionate about your career or eager to navigate challenges, don't forget to subscribe. Hello, Polina. Nice to see you here. Thanks a lot for joining.
Hi again. So I'm Polina, and I work as a head of product for Talent. Talent is a global tech company, if you haven't heard of that yet. I have more than 10 years of experience in tech, wearing multiple hats. I started my career as a software engineer, then I shifted to project management, and then I shifted to product management. And then, I've been just growing, I would say quite naturally, starting as a product manager, then senior product manager, then product leader slash head of product. Again, like I'm not stick to titles that could be called differently in different companies. So I would say that I'm a product leader, and which means that I have a team of product managers, and I do oversee a quite large area in the company, and I'm responsible for all the priorities. I'm responsible for the budget, and I'm responsible not only for my own performance, but also for my team performance and happiness, which is also important. So that's a brief overview of my career, and through today's conversation, you will be able to learn much more about me, including some personal things, because the topic that we've chosen today is really, really personal and sensitive.
Definitely, definitely. I have never experienced a lot of video where people discuss this burnout. And when I found my first burnout, I didn't know how to deal with it. I just quit my job. So I'm super curious how you managed to switch this hat from the software engineer from the product manager and manager. It's a different careers and different responsibility. And really interesting how you deal with it, because when you change your careers, it's always stress because you change your daily routines. And before we start discussing your techniques, your routines, let's clarify to each other. Let's start from the definition. What is burnout for you? How do you feel it?
Okay, that's a great question. So thank you for asking that. And there are a bunch of definitions of burnout. And of course, I could have just Googled, some scientific definitions, but that's not interesting. And I didn't do that on purpose because I wanted to say it in my own words. And in my own words, let me just start with, having a bit of context. A person is energy, and you get some energy, you give some energy, and it all comes to some kind of balance. And the results can be measured as a sum of the input and the output. And if the sum is below zero, it means that you either have a burnout or you're moving towards it. So I think that's like a really, really, really brief definition. I'm not sure if it's clear to everyone. So Juliana, if you have questions about that, just let me know.
I guess I can relate to it because I've Googled when I start absorbing what is burnout, how do I feel, I Google this definition, these stages of burnout. But for myself, after this experience, I divide it to two big parts, I guess. You can have physical burnout. It means that your physical body doesn't have energy because you start ill, something like that. And then you have emotional burnout. For me, it means that I'm starting, okay, not I'm starting, I'm thinking about my work, I'm thinking about my hypothesis, I'm thinking about my projects. So for me, burnout can be emotional, physical, and it can be both. Because, for example, it might start from the physical, because our body react first, and then if you as a person don't hear it, your brain start also draining and starts to burn out because you don't have physical energy. I guess I can totally relate. It's all about energy, but energy can be different.
Let me just make a note about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So I just wanted to say that it's all connected. When you defined it as like either physical or mental, like my immediate thought was that it's all connected, and it can start both ways. It can start with like physical, it can start with like mental. In my case, I have never experienced the complete burnout, the stage when you just, can't move, you can't do anything. You're just, completely off. That's it. So I've never been there, but I have times in my career when I felt really, really close to it. And I think in my case, it started mostly from my brain. And then it started to give, some like physical impact on my body as well.
Before we start discussing techniques and tips how to deal with it, how do you think what caused the burnout, especially in tech or maybe in the manager world?
Okay, so as a product person and as a leader, so I would talk, from my point of view, and I will be referring to some things that we product people face every day in our professional life. And first of all, I would love to mention that as a product person, you face uncertainty. Like every day, like the world is changing so fast, and I actually define product management as a science about the world. You need to learn the world, how the world works, how people operate, what like pain points people have. You're always learning, and you need to be always curious. And the world is changing, so you face a lot of uncertainty. Not to mention that you operate within a company, and that this company also operates in this fast changing world. So sometimes you can feel that you have everything under control, and then the next morning, that all the priorities changed and all the strategy changed, and you need to rethink everything. You basically need to redefine your roadmap, and you need, just to start everything from scratch. And this is where you need a lot of creativity and innovation and communication as well, because the product manager doesn't work alone. Again, you operate within your team, and you also operate within the larger group, the company. You do have stakeholders that you need to manage, and you are going through lots of meetings, lots of communication, which is, I would say, like energy consuming, even though I love this part of my job, as well as like the creativity and innovation, but it's energy consuming. And one more thing that I would mention is that you do deal with fails. I don't like this word, and we'll tap into that more. But what I'm talking about is basically like the experiments that didn't work out, the hypothesis that proved to be wrong, and so you just can't avoid that because most of assumptions fail. That's just how it works. And as a product person, you need to test more and more and more to finally find what works. This is your job, and you just can't avoid this part of your job. And if you don't want that, just don't be a product manager. Just choose something else. That's what I'm thinking about. And the last thing that I would not the last. I have two actually. Like tight timelines and pressure that we are dealing with every day. So I have never seen a company, and even though I've worked for great companies that embrace creativity, embrace innovations, embrace product culture, but I have never seen a company that, doesn't have this pressure that we are working through every day. Just because a company, whatever company you can imagine, has like its own key performance indicators, and you always need to manage that. You just can't, say like just go with the flow and it will work out somehow. You need to manage it and take it under control. If you are a private company, you have investors, you have the board, and you need to manage expectations of the board. And you always need to grow. So it's not like you can say, okay, last year we had like double-digit growth, and we are pretty happy with that. No, so it's like the board will be always pushing you to show more growth, and it never stops. So and that's where the pressure is coming from. Last but not least, I would say that every product manager is a leader, and as a leader, you also, deal with a lot of pressure. It's like you need to be strong as a leader. You need to inspire others. You kind of need to express this like energy. You need to be an advocate of your users. You need to, need to convey this product evangelism. And you need energy for that. So if you are empty, you just can't do that. Or you can do that, but that's how you kind of make adapt. It's you kind of just take credit. You need to pay that to yourself later. You just can't do that forever. I would say quite frequently burnout in leadership is coming from there, because we try to maintain this image of a leader who is motivated, who is energized, who is very passionate about like his or her like vision and product. And we try to ignite the team members. We try to, kind of just convey this vision and involve more people into executing this vision. But it requires a lot of energy. And sometimes there are days when we feel just bad, really, really bad, and we still need to do this job. I personally think that there are different leadership styles, and my leadership style allows me to be vulnerable sometimes. I think it's okay, and sometimes I actually think that it even makes people feel more connected when they see that you are not a machine, you are a real person, and you also can have bad days. And there are bad days. So I just covered one part, you're like the professional side of things as a product person. But we all are just, like everyone is a human, and we have lives. And sometimes things are not going our way, and we still need to do our job. For example, I was a product manager when like my first marriage didn't work out and I was going through a divorce. I was a product manager when I was dealing with an eating disorder. I was a product manager when I moved to a different country and COVID hit and I was alone. I had just like zero friends in this new country. And I just needed to go through it. And I also needed to do my job as a product manager. And like whatever your title is, I think you can deal with that. So what I'm trying to say here is that we are dealing with a lot of challenges in different parts of our life, and we just need to find a way to navigate through it, and we need to find a way to stay resilient, and we need to have tools to go through it. On the bright side, like resilience is not a feature of your character. It's not a default setting. It can be learned. So it's a skill. And we'll talk a lot about that today and discuss like more practical tips on how to deal with that.
Definitely, definitely. I again can totally relate because I'm a product manager. I know what everything means. And speaking about leaders, I guess leaders, product managers, C-level, just managers, they are the role model for the team. If you're energized, you will energize your team. If you feel not good and not speak about it but loudly, also in my opinion, like the team will feel it, because I didn't know how, but I can feel it. Yeah.
I mean, it just lies through. I mean, you can't hide it. So
Yes.
if you are drained, so like no matter how hard you try to hide it, so it just lies through.
I also would like to add that those cause anxiety, and if you don't have a strong emotional intelligence, you will always think of it, and the anxiety will increase, and as a result, you can find yourself in a burnout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So it never stops. So it doesn't stop
Yes.
when you, let's say, log out from Slack in the evening. It doesn't stop when you complete your last meeting for the current week. It never stops. And this is your job to make it stop. This is your job to create a space where your mind can, be calm, to create because this is how you fulfill your energy, and this is how you create space for creativity and innovation.
When you told that you have never experienced major burnouts, and also, I guess we are coming to discuss techniques. My question, let's start maybe from the system, because I don't think that it's enough to make one time some solution like, okay, holidays. So my question to you, do you have a mindset or maybe a system which helps you to be energized?
Uh, I absolutely do, and I'm happy to share it today with our listeners. First of all, I totally agree with you that it's not about a like one-time action. All the one-time actions, they are like tapes. For example, you mentioned earlier that when you felt burnt out, you just took a 6 month break, and but that's a tape. That's what you absolutely needed to do because you already faced burnout. But ideally, we need to create systems that are balanced and that prevent us getting into this state. Let's talk about a few concepts that I would love to share with our audience today. So first of all, I'll just talk a bit about the mindset that I developed. And again, it was not like that from day one. So that is a result of my self-reflections. This is a result of hours of therapy. No, so this is the result of some learnings and challenges I was going through. So the first, and I think one of the most important things is embrace mistakes. Embrace mistakes because you will get a lot of them, but you need to take them as learnings. And it might sound obvious, and you can say like, Polina, it's bullshit. A lot of people talk about that, and so it's like, I know that. But knowing that and actually having that implemented into your life and mindset is two different things.
I can
Yeah,
add,
go
sorry
ahead.
for interrupt. Yes, I wrote the book which is called Growth Mindset from Carol Dweck. So this book tells exactly about difference between growth mindset and fixed mindset. That mistakes or failures or something which is not unaccepted for you is just a piece of learning, and you need to think like, oh, great. Okay, I found out I find the information, what I can deal with it. And in this book, the author gives examples like super funny example. We have kids. Okay, somebody have kids, and kids as a kids we start walking, and we do so many attempts to start walking, but we don't think about, okay, I failed once. I stop walking. I cannot do it because for example, I don't have skills to walk. No, kids don't think about it. So I guess Growth Mindset from the Carol Dweck is a great book to read about this mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was just going to say a few words on like where it's coming from. Yeah, let it be a psychology moment. So, but this kind of thing sometimes really comes from our childhood and what we've been told while being a child. For example, I can just share my personal story. I was a straight A student, and it puts some pressure on your shoulders when you always have like straight A's, and then something fails, you're like super devastated. You don't know what to do with that, and you just take it as a fail. And sometimes your adults surrounding you, like your parents or your teachers, they also try to push you more and say, you know what, we didn't expect that from you. Why not A? So we just expected A. And then you're like, okay, so I need to work harder and harder just to get only A's. Striving to deliver excellence and just always just willing always be perfect, it just takes over you, and sometimes you even feel like you don't want to stop because you are too afraid to fail. And so you all have heard this expression that the perfection is the enemy of good, but I mean, it's real. And specifically in the product career, it's real. If you will be, too focused on perfection, you will never move fast enough to succeed.
And we can continue another roles which you have in your
Yeah,
mindset. Yeah.
for sure, for sure. Let's just talk about it, and just feel free to stop me if you feel that something resonates, or if you disagree with something. Also, just feel free to stop me. That's a discussion, and that's what is really beautiful about today's conversation. So the second one is also quite obvious, but again, like don't be too judgmental. Treat yourself with compassion, and it's like easier said than done, because it's like, of course I treat myself with compassion, I love myself, and so how else it could be. But then you have a fail, and you start like thinking about it. Oh, there are a lot of things that I could have done better, so it's all because of me, and you start like blaming yourself, you start feeling ashamed, and this is what drains your energy like a lot. Try not to judge, like try just, okay, this just happened, and I did like the best based on my knowledge and skills, and now I just need to understand what went wrong and what kind of things I need to learn to do better next time. You can try to imagine that it's not you. Let's say it's someone on your team, or it's your friend. So what would you say to your friend? Would you say, man, so you could have done better? So you wouldn't say that, but we say that to ourselves. And this is, I would say, a major energy drainer. So I would encourage you to really, treat yourself with kindness and compassion. So the first thing you can do is actually pay some attention to how you treat yourself in difficult situations. And I think that actually therapy helps a lot, because it just secures some time to dive deeper into that, and you are talking with a professional, so you can dive in really, really deep and understand how like certain concepts in your mind work. Also think like some techniques like journaling or having a weekly retrospective also help. So if you don't want to work with a professional, and you think that you'd better on your own, you can just employ these techniques, like I mentioned, like journaling or weekly retrospectives, and that works. So that works for me, and I do that a lot. And I even have it, tracked in my habit tracker, so I do not skip. Because so even if you have a strong habit, sometimes you need, some external motivation to push you do
Yes.
that. Otherwise, I mean, just have a big moment and skip.
Yes, yeah. Agree, definitely. I didn't know why today. I totally agree with you, Polina, because I guess I choose company, I choose you as a manager because what your thoughts, your values, and I call it for myself. It's like rules how to treat myself. Everything is super correlate to me, and I agree. I agree with the therapist. I agree with their. It's weekly reflection. Is a scrum, as a team, we have retros. Why we cannot do the same with ourselves? But my question to you, to be honest, it's not simple to understand which question to ask yourself. Like previously, I had those thoughts. I guess I still have this imposter syndrome. And sometimes I feel like, okay, I do my usual work. What is it is super obvious to be, for example, a project manager and to deal with, communicate with developers, to work with Scrum, and for example, another product managers, like, they are fully confident in their jobs to be done framework, but I didn't know jobs to be done. Okay, I have heard about it, and my question here: do you have any recommendation? What to ask yourself to be more conscious, to start reflect of your thoughts?
I think that what really motivates and what really makes you feel better is a sense of progress. Just remind yourself how you started and don't compare yourself to others, just compare yourself to yourself. And let's say if you look at Juliana 1 year ago, so what things would you highlight? Is there any progress she made? I think like that
Yeah,
certainly there is progress. At least I see it.
I also see it. I dreamed about working in the international company, and now I'm here. And to be honest, guys, English was not the easy part for me. I had been learning it for 4 years, and in the beginning of previous year, I felt like, no, I'm not super good.
And again, it might be obvious for someone. The question is whether you really do that. Because it's like it should be really practical. And another advice that I can share, especially if you have moments when you feel like really down, try to see yourself through someone else's eyes and just talk to people. And it's great that you already have, you already surrounded yourself with supportive people, people you can trust, like-minded people. It's great if you have these people. So if you don't have anyone, just go talk to a therapist. It really helps. But if you have these people, just try to talk to them. Look at yourself through their eyes. I'm talking about different kind of people. So it might be your colleague, it might be your manager, it might be your husband, it might be your close friend. So I think like the way, others see us is just so different and sometimes so inspiring. And I would give the same advice if, let's say, any woman just told me that she felt not beautiful enough. I was like, just look at yourself through your boyfriend's eyes, and you would see yourself like differently, completely differently. And same with our achievements. So like when you look at all of that through someone else's eyes, and I mean it just like changes dramatically. And it happened to me a lot of times because I also felt that I'm not doing a great job. And then let's say my manager was, so happy with my achievements and sharing such a positive feedback, or like someone else from other department was saying that I'm like the most inspiring person in the company, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. I just started feeling so differently. And it's like I just look at myself through different eyes, completely different lens.
I have a habit to write down my accomplishments, to collect my feedback, and in these down moments, I come back to it. I come back maybe to some person opinion and try to encourage myself.
Yeah, I would say that having this like achievements diary also helps a lot. And I don't have this diary. I always feel very excited when I write down, these achievements for a performance review. And I'm like, wow, so we did a great job, really. I did a great job because, in the day-to-day activities, you mostly work with like problems and challenges, and everything is moving so fast. So sometimes you just, miss just miss this moment to celebrate what you already achieved. And that's why I love performance reviews. It's like you just look back and see how what great things you achieved. And also I know that like one of my friends, she is a fashion stylist. So she basically works on her own. And it's also tricky because we do have like management and processes and so on. We operate within the company. She doesn't have that. So she needs to manage herself really excellently just to work through all of that and be successful. And I know that she just shared with me that sometimes she deals with this imposter syndrome as well, because she's like, maybe I'm not such a brilliant stylist. This stylist has like 1 million followers on Instagram and I don't have 1 million followers. This stylist has like her own stylish school and I don't have one. So maybe I'm not so great. Maybe I should like, I don't know, just give up styling and do something else. And at that moment, she just gets back to her diary where she collects all the positive reviews that her clients gave to her. So she collects everything, all the positive reviews from clients, from partners, and so on. And it's like it just again makes you look at yourself through someone else's eyes and makes you just see yourself differently. And I think that everyone can do something like that. For example, we do get some positive feedback from our users. We do get some positive feedback on our work from managers and colleagues. You can just simply, make a screenshot of a review left on your website, or you can just simply, make a screenshot of a Slack message from your manager, or a screenshot of your manager's comment on your performance review. And then, when you have a bad moment, just get back to it. And then you realize how great you are. And you realize that you can achieve a lot more if you just believe in yourself and treat yourself with kindness and compassion and, just feel it.
What I can add here that it's changing of your mindset and changing your thoughts, and it's not a super quick solution, not super easy to do for somebody, because I had the same thoughts and I'm still in progress. And what I would like to highlight here, that it's okay if you right now don't have this achievement diary. But if you start thinking about it, if you start implement things which are good for you and it helps you, so it's a great progress comparing yourself from today, from years ago. Let's return to burnout. So I hear that the main thing, the main stuff which helps you to prevent burnout is managing yourself, knowing yourself. What does it mean? What means knowing yourself? Okay, we understand about thoughts and how to prevent these thoughts which cause anxiety and another bad emotions. What else?
I call this concept as like managing oneself. And it's not my term. So if you Google, you can probably find a book, and you can also find an amazing article about that. But I've actually found the book and the article after I already conceptualized it for myself. I just really love the term, like managing oneself. And what it means, so first of all, you just can't manage what you don't know, and you need to get to know yourself and understand, how you designed by nature. We all are different, and there is no one approach that works for everyone. That's why I think it's so important to understand who you are, to understand what works for you. And it can be done like by multiple dimensions. I would start with a more high level things such as values and mission. And if you are a product person, I think now you envision like mission and values in a sense, like in the way we do that for products and businesses and so on. And yes, it's kind of similar to that, but at the same time, I don't want you to stick to this concept too much because the frameworks that we use, they are designed for products and businesses. And what I want you to do is actually to ask yourself why I'm doing what I'm doing, what I want to do, and why I want to do what I want. So again, like sounds probably probably pretty obvious, but when I asked myself this question, it was not so easy to answer. There are a lot of great things to do in the world, and also there are a lot of expectations that we have. For example, my role as a product leader, I would say, requires some skills and such as like business acumen, dealing with like finance and budgeting, and managing resources and so on and so forth. And I do that, so I do have these skills, but this is not what fulfills me. I think what fulfills me is actually creating value for real people and creating products and services that people really use and love. And I want these services to make their lives better. So that's like what is actually my mission, I think. And it doesn't matter like if I work as a product leader or as a product manager, as a CEO, like, or even as a like content creator, it doesn't matter, but this is my core and this needs to be fulfilled because it's connected with my values. So that's how it works. And once I realized that, actually, I was able to find what kind of things in my work just fulfill me most, and what kind of things in my work drain energy because they are just needed to operate within a company, but it's not what fulfills me. And I'm not saying that you can just immediately drop things that do not fulfill you, but you can find a way to organize your schedule so these two categories of tasks are balanced. So you do things that fulfill you, and then you can reinvest some energy into things that you need to do just to keep the business operating and do your job. And that's very important to know. And those things are very different for different people. For example, there are people who are naturally creative and they do enjoy creativity and innovation. And there are people who are not, and it's very difficult to admit that you are not creative, you do not enjoy it, and you're just not like that. You are different. You love structures, you love like predictability, and you love like everything to be super organized. This is like just an essence of you. And but it's difficult to admit that because so being creative is usually something that society thinks is good, and cool. And just admitting that you are not is difficult. Or you are a product manager, and we do need some level of organization. We need to, have this like structure thinking. We need to be organized. We need to this time management skills. We need project management skills and so on. And what if you just find out that you are actually not very organized by nature? And I'm not very organized. I'm very creative. I love to innovate, so, but I love to communicate, but I'm not very organized by nature. And what it means for you is that you understand that it just, takes, for you specifically, it takes a bit more effort to get organized. And you need to gain this skill. You need to probably delegate some kind of things related to project management. Probably need to use frameworks, like whatever tool actually helps you to get more organized and don't spend too much energy on that works. So, but you just need to pay attention to that. And so there are a lot of dimensions that you can analyze, and there are a lot of strategies that you can employ to do that. For me, what helps, I worked with a career coach, and it helped. And that's funny because I came to her saying that, you know what, I want to be a vice president of product at a global company. So that's my goal. That's my goal. So, and then after after like several sessions, it all, came to a mission, values, and it kind of just, made me think very differently about my career and my life at all. So that was very awakening and insightful. So I totally recommend hiring a good career coach if you struggle with, struggle with your career goals or even your like identity, because a career coach can ask you questions and walk you through some exercises and techniques that help you to find out.
What I would like to add here that why we speak a lot about work because usually we burn out at the work because we are passionate about the work. But I guess this advice can be applied in any field when you find out yourself like burnout. So I really like this mindset approach that you know yourself, you know your strengths, and you try to find work activities, something to do which is fulfill you. Uh, yeah, it's my summary.
Yeah. And again, just to reiterate, if something doesn't fulfill you, it doesn't mean that, you're bad at it. It doesn't mean you can't be good at it. For example, I got good in project management, but this is not what I like doing, and this is not what fulfills me. I think the best way to do it, if you don't want to hire a career coach, the best way to do it is just look through your calendar and try to log, okay, so this kind of activity felt really nice, and I've got an energy spike after that. And this kind of activity was boring, and like I felt tired after that, and I honestly just didn't like it. I would prefer not doing that at all. And you might find out that you can delegate it, and that's perfect. You might find out that you cannot, and that this kind of skill and activity is just a part of your job. And then you need to balance again. So just balance activities. So you have some activities that fulfill you. You have some activities that you just need to do to operate within a company. So it all just must be balanced. Otherwise, you will be going to this like a negative sum. So what I mentioned in the very beginning.
Yeah, my question was like, I feel then in tech, we are a little bit in the bubble. Everything is good. Like we earn enough money to live and we can choose. But I start remembering not friends, okay, acquaintances who are not in this favorite position, who cannot choose because, for example, he or she uh, have to work to earn money to maintain her family. And what do you recommend for such people who don't have maybe a lot of options to choose?
I don't think that I can talk about that in details. Yeah, it's difficult. I remember myself in the very beginning of my career, and I had, pretty modest salary, but I had time, and I invested this time into learning. I invested this time into, I would say, just designing my future, and that worked for me. Of course, this concept can be difficult to apply. For example, if you are if you have a full-time job and you also are a full-time mom with like two children, and probably like your husband left you and you're the only income provider in your family, so it's like easier to say for me saying like, hey, just the world has so many opportunities, just go for it. So I don't want to sound like that. So I just totally understand that every situation is unique, but I strongly believe that the world is kind to us, and the world has a lot of opportunities. And I strongly believe that we all need to start with ourselves. And I strongly believe that, our state of mind is connected to everything else that surrounds us. And if we just, put some focus on that, the world will start changing. We'll just start seeing opportunities. I also had times in my life when like everything was not I was just not happy with what I had. I'm glad that I actually invested some time into learning new things. I'm glad that I invested some time into actually just learning how the world works and trying to see opportunities. So that's it. And I probably just sounds like Tony Robbins just jumped into our meeting.
I have 2 points to add here. I guess agree that it's a progress. You can start observing opportunities and measure for yourself. Is it okay? Do you like it? And the second thought is maybe it's not necessary that work is an essential part. Like we have values, and maybe work cannot give us place to reach these values. Maybe somebody loves parenting and he can spend more time on parenting and thinking about work. Like, okay, it's essential part, but I not give myself, I not give a lot of energy at work. I will give my energy to what I love.
So that works for some people. So and again, it really depends on how you define yourself. It really depends how you define your priorities. It really depends how you envision yourself in like 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. I always knew that I want to do something big. Yeah, I just always knew that, and it doesn't mean that I want to be like 100% dedicated to my career and that's it. I also do have family, so I do have friends, I have hobbies, and I enjoy a lot of things. For example, I like fashion and beauty, and so I really enjoy it. I mean, career always has been important to me, and I always knew that just I know, just need to create something big. And I think I haven't created yet, like my biggest and the most successful product. I'm still, kind of navigating towards that. But that's a journey, and I enjoy the journey as well. And that's, I think, an important thought. So let's just stop here for a sec. Just don't be obsessed with results and achievements. Just find a journey that you enjoy. There's no big achievement that just happens in a day. It's a journey, and there is no like big achievement that you can that you can get like super easily. So no, it just doesn't exist. So you'll face problems, you'll face challenges. Just find the problems that you love to solve. So that's it. So that's my point.
I have heard about it, like being a manager, find a problem which you would like to solve. Agree. Let's continue discussing what tools help you in daily basis as a small steps to deal with your early signals of burnout. Could you share with us, Polina, please?
Yeah, I think like the most important thing is just, scanning yourself several times per day and just realizing, okay, so now I feel some tension in my neck. Probably I'm sitting, too much in front of my laptop and I just need to take a break, go for a walk, do some stretching exercises or whatever helps you. But like scanning is important. And if you don't have it as a habit, I encourage you to probably just set up reminders with a quick question. Hey, how are you? Like with like whatever your name is, Anna, how are you? And then just take a moment and answer this question. Just scan through your body and mind and just try to notice any feelings and sensations in your body and in your mind. And don't judge. It's like it just exists. Just let it be. And speaking about the thoughts, just you just notice that, okay, this is a thought and I feel anxious. Okay, just let it come and go. And that's it. That's it. Just do that as a first step. Really helps. And if you wanna, once you identify like some repetitive patterns, you can take an action to deal with it. And it could be mm, a set of tools that help you to deal with specific things, or it could be a system that helps you to prevent this kind of things. For example, if you know that you start feeling some tension in your body, or you start feeling a headache in the middle of the day, then just set up reminders to stand up every hour. And I think it really helps. Or if you notice that for you it's difficult to survive through the second half of your day, and the second half of your day is very challenging, and it's my case actually, because I do work with the US, and most of my meetings are in the second part of my day, and some of them are really really late, and that's why I'm like, okay, so I need to take a break in the middle of my day, and I need to go for a walk. I need to go to a nice coffee place just to just to be with myself for some time, refresh and relax, so I can get prepared to the second half of my day. And and I'm saying that, and that's normal, because some people might think, okay, how can I go for a walk in the middle of my day? It's not okay. Just like effective people don't do that. I have like too much work to do. But I'm saying that not because I'm a lazy bitch. I just need that. It's essential for me to be effective as a leader, and to make effective decisions. If I can't just manage myself, manage my mind, manage my level of energy, it just leads to uh, worse decision making, which creates a risk for the company as well.
It's about days. Do you have some tips in your week, or maybe quarter, or maybe year?
The best practice that you can implement is a planning and a retrospective. And I'm sure that most of you just do that with your teams. Do the same with yourself. Just have your own planning, and have your personal planning and personal retrospective. And don't make it tied to your professional life. Just think about your personal life as well, because your life is not defined by your career. Your life is not equal to your professional life. So it has like more dimensions. So try to think more broadly. And I personally do not separate these things. Like I have, you might heard this term like work-life balance. And to me, this term is a bit weird, because if you serve your like mission, and you do what really fulfills you, what you are really passionate about, so I don't know, just the term kind of doesn't work anymore. But you should understand that your career is just one of the parts of your life, and you have other things. For example, you might have family. You might have like your like health and beauty. You might have something that I personally call like bright moments, because I want to live a bright life, and I want to and you need to plan it, because it doesn't happen. Some things of course happen just naturally, but you just need to put some focus into that, and plan joyful moments as well. Just get organized around that. Yeah, just try to look a bit broader at your life. You might want to split it into work and life. You might go for a bit different breakdown, as I just mentioned and shared as an example. And the same concept can be applied to your like yearly planning. So when you think about your goals, and when you think about where you want to be by the end of the year, don't think only on a career level. Think about other areas as well. And that's important because if you set up goals in your career and you do not set up any goals and you don't even have a vision in other areas of your life, it means that so your focus and your resources will be mostly allocated to your career, and everything else just happens. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes it doesn't. But if you feel like some of the areas needs your attention, just give it attention. So just give it some focus. And I'm not a big fan of, this like smart goals. It never works for me in my personal life. So I don't want to say that, I want to get like 20% more beautiful. No, I mean, so just that doesn't work for me. And this example, of course, I'm exaggerating, but I can, come up with more specific examples. And I don't like that. So I just look at that more like as a vision, just try to envision where you want to be. And what I found actually super interesting is using AI to help you with visualization. You know
Mm.
that there are a lot of AI tools at the moment that help you to generate pictures, and it's like painting, but in fact AI is painting. So you can't just say something like, so you try to envision your future, and you even have some kind of pictures how you want your day look like, how you want your like next house look like, how you want to probably I don't know. For example, you are planning to get an executive education, and you envision this graduation moment. And you can ask AI to visualize all of that and just capture it in the picture. And then you can take this picture and put it to your note where you have, this vision for your future life. And to me, I did that. I did that. And to me, it was, first of all, it was a lot of fun. Second of all, I think that works for me just because feel more connected to pictures than a text or even a voice. So again, it all depends on your personality and what's the best way for you to consume information. But that is at least a lot of fun. So, and I do recommend doing that if you like visualization techniques and want to employ technology to help you with that.
Thanks, Polina. It's an interesting advice because I have never thought about visualization with AI, but I definitely know that imagines and visualizing really help. And once when my coach asked me like visualize yourself in 5 years, 10 years, it's a difficult task for me. I can imagine. I'm not super imaginative person, but the AI can help. We can discuss this topic for many hours, but it's not possible to make a record. So guys, if you feel that conversations are super valuable for you, don't forget about subscribe and like, and also share with your friends. And if you forget something, tips, advices about burnout, also leave your comment what tips help you. And see you soon. Thanks,
Thank
Polina.
you. Bye.
Bye.